live pictures right now of these protesters. This is on Central Avenue and Palm Lane, which is a little bit north of McDowell. And these protesters have spilled into Central Avenue, and so they've shut down the street. You can see a line of police lining the light rail. A little while ago, before we went live with this picture, they were actually blocking the light rail line. The other side of Central Avenue is clear right now. The protest started at about 4 o'clock. They made their way to the 4th Avenue jail. All of this in protest of SB1070. Lisette Martinez is right in the middle of all of that. She joins us now with more. Lisette.
Yeah, Mark, things got a lot hectic just a few minutes ago. They said it had been a peaceful demonstration up until now. A group of people decided to move on to Central Avenue. I asked the organizers if this was something that was planned, and they claimed that it was not, but it certainly took police by surprise. Crowd control officers are lining up now on Central Avenue. Obviously, the people on the street are blocking traffic, and up until just a few seconds ago, also the light rail. We are right here standing next to one of the students that was arrested a few weeks ago in a very similar situation. Her name is Daniela Cruz. Daniela, what is your experience with something like this when you're watching this students and some adults as well take a risk of being arrested by blocking the street?
You know, I'm nervous for them. I'm happy for them. I'm excited to see what's going on. I was in their shoes last month, and I can't wait. You know, we are making that difference one by one. We do keep making those differences.
Why do it in this way, though?
Because no one will listen to us. We have to make our stand. We have to take our stand and say we will no longer comply. We're tired of this. We'll show you that we're not scared anymore.
Now, during today's march, you guys went to the 4th Avenue jail and you went to the police department. What was the symbolism behind that?
Well, we're just showing everyone, the authorities, we're showing everyone that we're done. We're not going to comply. We're not going to put up with the laws that criminalize us. I don't know how many of them are documented. I don't know how many of them are undocumented, but my heart is with them and everything is with them right now.
You are undocumented student. How was your experience when you went to jail, and what do you think is going to happen to them? Do you see that they're going to move anytime soon?
I don't think they're going to move anytime soon, not until they take them. My experience was that, you know, everyone told me I was going to get deported. Every single person I talked to told me that I had ruined my future. So I'm with them right now. You know, I know they will try to bring them down, but we're with them. The community is with them.
Again, the crowd is really gathering here on the street. Officers not very happy about what was going on. As I mentioned earlier, it was about a few-mile march, and it was very peaceful. It was sort of quiet and uneventful. The police were in on everything that was going on until just a few minutes ago when this group of people decided to move on to the street. Again, they claim that it was not planned, but we do not know. It's eerily similar to what happened a few weeks ago outside of Trevor Brown High School, again, where people like Daniela were voluntarily putting themselves out there to be arrested. This is what's going on in downtown Phoenix. Protests against SB1070. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio right now.
All right, Lisette Martinez is live in the middle of that protest, which is broken out. It's been going on since 4 o'clock this afternoon. We'll continue to keep our eyes on what's going on. All right, we know that no matter what, SB1070 always generates passionate debate and protest, both those for the law and against the law. And about 4 o'clock this afternoon, those against SB1070 started marching. It started in downtown Phoenix. They marched by the 4th Avenue jail, and it's now moved up Central Avenue. And as you can see by these live pictures from Sky 12, it's blocking traffic. Let's go back to Lisette Martinez. She's right in the middle of it.
Yes, Mark, a Phoenix police officer just approached some of the people that are sitting on the street on Central Avenue, and he told them they would be subject to arrest if they do not get up off the street and move on to the sidewalk. But it does not look like any of them are willing to do that anytime soon. As I mentioned, crowd control officers have been lining up along Central Avenue and around this group of individuals who are obviously here to get arrested. I think they had this in mind from the very beginning of this march, that this is what they were going to do, because again, it doesn't seem like any of them are willing or going to get up from the street. Now, I want to tell you that we are standing in front of ICE headquarters. There's a reason why this is happening here. This is where protesters believe many of the illegal immigrants are being being subject to a lot of injustices, according to them. This is obviously where they come before they get deported. So this is why they're doing this in front of ICE headquarters. There's a lot of personnel from ICE standing outside. We can see someone right now that is being picked up. You can see that person right there. As I mentioned, the Phoenix police officer just came down a few seconds ago and told him this was going to happen if they did not get up. Again, I'm sure that they're going to be picking up the rest of the individuals that are sitting on the streets. As I mentioned before, I asked organizers if this was something that they had planned for the end of the march. They claim not to, but it's very, very similar to what happened a few weeks ago with undocumented students outside of Trevor Brown. Here's the second individual who seems to be praying as she is getting arrested by Phoenix police officers. This is happening live. This is happening right now outside of ICE headquarters. These are all SB1070 protesters. They want to send a message almost a little bit over 2 years after the law was signed by Governor Brewer. They are once again out on the street making their voices heard. Mark, we're going to keep monitoring the situation. Back to you.
And Lisette, so far, at least from what we can gather, it's loud but peaceful. Has there been any sort of physical confrontation at all?
No, Mark, and I mentioned that earlier. This had been a very peaceful march, sort of uneventful at times. Earlier today, it started with a rally, with dancing and music, and it had no indication that it was going to end in this way. It certainly took Phoenix police officers by surprise. I was speaking to them before the march, and they had everything planned out. They had been working with organizers of the march to make sure that everything went according to plan, but this obviously took them by surprise.
All right, Lisette Martinez in the middle of this very loud protest going on right now on Central Avenue. We'll continue to monitor the situation. We'll have more coming up for you as we continue here on 12 News. No matter what the Supreme Court decides, there is no doubt SB 1070 has and will continue to impact the people of our state. Some illegal immigrants have left Arizona. Some Hispanics feel like there's an increase in racial profiling. And some Republicans are relieved that Arizona is trying to do something to enforce this law. We sent Melissa Blasius across the valley to get reaction. Well, a day of passion at the Supreme Court in Washington has ignited a fiery protest in downtown Phoenix that is now blocking Central Avenue. These are live pictures from both Sky 12 and our crews on the ground. Lisette Martinez is live alongside those protesters right now. Lisette.
Yeah, Mark, we are being pushed out of the street by cops. Even the media is being pushed out right now. Things are very hectic. They continue to arrest one by one the people that were sitting on the street, and they're loading them up to a bus that is parked on Central Avenue. Again, crowd control officers from the Phoenix Police Department are now pushing the entire crowd onto the sidewalk. Most of us are now on the sidewalk. There's a few hundred people here. Again, things are ending not the way they began earlier today. As I mentioned, with the rally, those festivities and music, this is definitely a different picture, Mark. Again, these people are being arrested for standing and sitting in the middle of the street, and it seems like most of the crowd now is on the sidewalk. And, well, I can only assume that the group is going to begin to disperse.
All right, Lisette Martinez, who's in the middle of that protest in downtown Phoenix. We'll take a quick break and then come back with a look at your forecast. There's a storm moving in next.